Good afternoon, this is Bob Iaccino coming to you from the CME Group trading floor in Chicago talking metals. I want to talk about copper. It's worth noting real quick before I do that gold is actually lower with cryptocurrencies rallying again, so some of the narrative about Bitcoin sell-off going into gold might have been true as that reverses. But back to copper. Copper's only up about a little over 0.25%, still above that $3 level here at the CME Group, and that's mostly off of Chinese GDP. You would think that a strong Chinese GDP number like this would actually drive copper a lot higher, but it's a bit of a suspicious number. Chinese GDP beat 6.8% in the fourth quarter, month over month, versus an expectation of 6.7. China's had a tendency to report numbers that beat by 1/10. That's something that we've seen a pattern of, and a lot of analysts are calling this particular GDP number suspicious. So copper is stronger, and it does trade off of Chinese economic data, but the government release of data tends to be just ever so slightly suspicious. There's no conspiracy theory. They're definitely growing. They were doing infrastructure projects. You don't build a subway in a year. It takes about 5 years to build a subway. So when they start these infrastructure projects, it does stand to reason logically that they will take time and they will continue to add to GDP over longer periods of time. But there's been a lot of question about China's growth lately. They beat this morning. Copper was the benefactor of that particular beat. To add to the conviction that their GDP could be stronger, their industrial production also beat 6.2%, again, versus an expectation of 6.1% month over month growth on industrial production. Now, positive side of that number, the U.S. industrial production also beat, and the global growth story is still firmly entrenched in the markets. So it is possible that China's numbers are somewhat legit. They just maybe bumped up a little bit. Again, not talking conspiracy theories, just talking about how it affects copper. And when you see these numbers, these pieces of data out of China, they tend to rally copper a lot more than they did today. So the market is viewing these numbers as positive, but not positive enough to send copper to new highs. Having said that, the dollar weakness is also helping keep a bid to copper. Dollar is weaker against the majors. It was weaker against the Aussie dollar, the euro, and the sterling by about 0.5% on each, a little over 0.25% versus the sterling. Dollar weakness makes commodities more attractive, more affordable on a global stage, so that tends to put a bid to the general base metals picture. This is Bob Iaccino talking copper futures, slightly higher from the CME Group trading floor in Chicago.